Back to our top story, some 500,000 matriculants sat for their first paper today. Our reporter Chriselda Lewis caught up with some of them after the examination. She joins me now in studio. Thanks for joining me, Chriselda.
Thank you, Tabile.
Now, Chriselda, you were at the school where the exams were underway this morning. Did things run as smoothly as government had hoped?
Oh, certainly. From what we saw at the Wendywood High School, everything went according to plan. They started writing on time. They finished on time. And they were a bit nervous in the beginning, but once we chatted to them afterward, they seemed to be very excited about the first paper. But this is just the beginning. Certainly, there's a lot of more work that still needs to be done, yeah.
Let's look at last year's cheating scandal. Now, from your conversation with the spokesperson of the department this morning, what are some of the interventions that they put in place to ensure that it doesn't happen again?
That certainly was very embarrassing for the National Department of Education, Basic Education. But from the school in particular that we visited, we're trying to monitor exactly what they're doing. Before the learners went into the examination room, they had scanners, they were searching their bags. They were not allowed to go to the examination centre with their bags. They were kept in some lock-up storeroom. They were searched just to check that there isn't some of those little papers or something that could be used to cheat. With the National Department of Basic Education, there are particular areas that they've highlighted as high-risk areas, the ones that were involved in last year's cheating scandal. So they say they've deployed more invigilators to areas such as that, the areas that are deemed high and medium risk. So they're hoping that that's going to be enough to deal with the situation and ensure that what happened last year doesn't happen again.
Now, speaking of hoping that it's enough, the school that you were at is a Joburg suburban school, for example.
Right.
Now, in terms of the interventions that you're speaking of, are they going to be consistent throughout the country?
Well, it certainly seems that way. It seems like the Department of Basic Education is leaving nothing to chance. It was very embarrassing what happened last year, and they wanted to ensure that in terms of quality, there is no doubt that is cast on the 2015 matric examination. There seems like there's going to be consistency relating to that, because some of the interventions which you've just mentioned in areas like the Eastern Cape and KwaZulu-Natal, which are considered by the department to be high-risk areas, invigilators have been deployed there more than should be required, and essentially the department is leaving nothing to chance with those particular areas. So I think in terms of the consistency that we saw today, look, the school we went to is one of the high-achieving schools. It's at 95%, and it certainly doesn't paint a picture of what's happening throughout the country. But if that is what's going on at majority of the schools, then certainly it's quite, it sounds like the department really does have its ducks in a row this time, yeah.
Now, just to shift focus a little, did the students have any sentiments on the Fees Must Fall campaign, considering that they will be university students next year?
Oh, absolutely. Everywhere you go, it still is the top story at the moment, and it sort of seemed as a joke to them, but more like this is what's going to affect us, because they're very determined and very confident that they will make it through these exams. So any decision that is taken today regarding the Fees Must Fall, we know it's now moved. There's kind of different universities are not sure if others will go ahead, if others will return to the classroom, but many are saying that they believe that those fees are exceptionally high. We know now there won't be an increase next year. It's 0%, as announced by President Jacob Zuma and the student leaders, as well as university executives. But anything that's got to do with education at this point is something that directly affects them. So certainly, yes, they're 100% behind all of that, but they do understand that they need to continue with their examinations at this point.
Chriselda, unfortunately, we've run out of time. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
That was our reporter, Chriselda Lewis. Now, on to university.